Nothing changes instantaneously. In a gradually heating bathtub, you'd be boiled to death before you knew it. Our Father, who art in heaven. Seriously? What the actual fuck?
Gilead doesn't care about children. Gilead cares about power.
Why does healing have to be the only goal? Why can't we be as furious as we feel?
For whatever man sows, so shall he reap.
Welcome to Above the Garage.
Hi, friends. Welcome to our analysis of Season 5, Episode 5 of The Handmaid's Tale, which is entitled Fairytale. Let's do our round of introductions and dive in.
Hi, I'm Sarah.
Hi, I'm Claudia.
Hi, I'm Helen.
Hi, I'm Kimberly.
And I'm Kate. So this episode was written by Jay Holtham and directed by the amazing Eva Vives. We actually interviewed her and we'll release that after episode 6. She directed both episode 5 and 6, and she's fascinating to talk to. So next week, check back. That interview will be out. The episode opens with June dreaming of Hannah at the aquarium, and it's such beautiful cinematography, by the way. The colors are amazing. But the dream gets weird and fast-forwarding, the sound is distorted, and June wakes up and realizes it's her phone buzzing. By the way, is this our first actual dream on the show? I think it is.
Well, she fantasizes a lot, so maybe it's similar, I guess. But
yeah. It's the same idea anyway.
Yeah.
But anyway, someone's calling with news for them on wife school, so she and Luke and Moira pile in the old Subaru and take off. Moira apparently calls shotgun off screen because June is in the back. En route, we see Canadians protesting American refugees in Toronto, end immigration, go home, etc. And it's been referenced a bit by Moira in the last episode that they won't be welcome if June murders someone else, but it seems like they're already being fairly unwelcomed.
I think it's similar everywhere. We had this a lot in Austria. We had a big refugee problem. I think it was in 2015. If I remember correctly. And there was a whole big thing with people protesting against taking more people and trying to get them out and everything. And I lived in a city where there's a whole refugee center, a big one, and it was overflowing with people. And they had to sleep outside, partially because they didn't have any place anymore. So it was a real big thing. So this hit home for me. And it brought a lot of bad feelings for me because it's really real.
This happens all over the world, like a lot, and currently, So I like that they call attention to it. Back at the B&B, Serena's looking down from her new Evil Queen window, but she's noticing guards around the perimeter and some music hybrid of nice and creepy starts playing. I wish I were armed with better words for it. Maybe you guys are, but it's kind of perfect for this house. And as Serena walks down the rectangular staircase, the camera focuses on her hand on the rail in a very June-esque shot. There's a maid downstairs who sounds a whole lot like a Martha, and Serena's admiring a wall of the perfect looking Wheeler's photos when Ezra comes in with his delightfully creepy style of softly talking and hands her flowers left for her by a well-wisher. Serena asks to meet Mr. Wheeler, but it's pretty evident that that's not supposed to happen. And with Serena, we're left to wonder why after Ezra awkwardly responds. He's usually pretty busy, but I'll check. And I just need to shout out here how incredible the ambiance in this house is. The direction, the music, the set, it's just also perfect from the outset. And the way it slowly closes in and dawns on Serena throughout the episode. It's brilliantly done. I love this house.
The shot from the top of the staircase down is just so beautiful, and it's always... Yeah, I love it. It's really cool.
Very Handmaid's shot. I love that shot too.
Yeah, I love that it just immediately reminded me of June at the Waterford house. It was just
yeah. But also the Serena waiting at the window and looking outside, and there were guardians everywhere, basically.
Yeah,
and
that's true.
All was like June back at the Waterford house. Everything,
right?
Even going down and meeting a Martha, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, creepy.
And there's something I noticed about the house, the Wheeler house in general, that they seem to have a lot of wood and teal. It's sort of a Gilead-esque house, but I think at the same time the Waterford house was even darker and had darker tones. So maybe the teal is there to remind us that Serena is or was a wife there.
Yeah, definitely.
So it's different. It doesn't look exactly like June's experience in the Waterford house, but something a bit similar.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was always struck by how not clean and fresh the paint in the Waterford house seemed. This is definitely nicer.
Yeah.
But similar.
I was fascinated because back when they were shooting and we saw some pictures of the house, I was always wondering which commander lived there. And I was always thinking that this is in Gilead and everything. And
yeah, same.
Seeing this in Canada and with a Canadian couple posing like they were in Gilead, it's just freaking me out.
Right. Plus, there was that one shot of, turns out it was Ezra and Serena, right?
Yeah,
at the door.
exactly.
But she was in her teal and he looked like a guardian. So we thought it was a Gilead house. That is funny. Well done. Time for breakfast with Mrs. Wheeler. I also need to shout out Genevieve Angelson. She's amazing at playing this absurd Gilead-loving woman. I can't even imagine playing this woman. When Serena thanks her for her hospitality, she makes it clear she has a real obsession with Gilead, and having Serena Joy Waterford in her house is a dream come true. My favorite line of hers is when she calls normal, well-adjusted humans that hate Gilead selfish, small-minded people. That's what they are. Her delivery of just all of her lines is pitch perfect for this lunatic. I've never seen a character quite like her, and it's quite entertaining. And it's extra delightful to see Serena hypocritically weirded out by the exact kind of person that she created and claims she wants all women to be. Like, this woman loves Gilead and everything it's about. And then Serena's displeasure peaks when the maid brings a plate of eggs and breakfast meats for Mrs. Wheeler's breakfast, and we get a nice aerial shot comparing Serena's like fruit plate and the green juice she forced June to drink. So smart that they included that. I would like to have seen her forced to drink it.
Made me laugh so much, especially with the meal choice.
Yes.
It was so funny. I laughed my ass off. Because I'm like, she gets all the good, and Serena even comes in and is like, oh, you didn't need to do all of this for me, and it basically isn't for her because she gets only the healthy one.
Right.
What was Serena even eating? Like, what was on her plate? I couldn't work it out.
Fruits and veggies, maybe? I couldn't quite either. Like, she had 2 plates, right? And a bowl.
I think it was a bowl with,
oatmeal?
Yeah, oatmeal or something like that.
Because June also ate
exactly
heaps of oatmeal. And it's good for pregnancy, probably.
Right.
I love the shot too of the back of her head in a bun, obviously just like a wife. Then
oh yeah, I wanted to say that.
It was a great shot.
Right after that shot, Serena not so subtly says, well, we will have that center on track in no time. She wants to get the hell out of there. And Mrs. Wheeler sweetly threatens she heard they were shutting it down indefinitely. And it's kind of adorable that Serena still thinks she has any power here. When she replies, we can't let a few rules get in the way of God's will. The Subaru trio pulls up to the Mayday cabin. Men are suddenly allowed now, I guess. And something is clearly wrong the moment they get out of the car. And Lee tells them that the friend that was bringing them intel is stuck on the other side of the border and can't make it over. And in fact, they've all got to abandon the cabin. The flag the Guardian put up indicates that Gilead is onto them, I guess. And he put it up after she'd called June. Moira kind of naively asks, so that's just it? You're done? And Lily replies, of course not. We're never done. And here we get the scene from the trailer with Luke saying, I'm going across. And he looks a little terrified, which makes it even braver of him to do this. And Moira's reaction is kind of hilarious. For what? Was like, this is so far out of her expectations that she can't even take it seriously. But he goes on and says everything they want to know about Hannah is across that border, and he's not going to go home and let Hannah show up on TV with Serena again. I'm not doing it. I'm going. Good for you, Luke. He's taking what Serena said to heart and literally going back into Gilead, or at least No Man's Land. Is it Gilead or No Man's Land that they go to?
I think they are in No Man's Land. The camp is in No Man's Land.
I think it's exactly on the border between Canada and No Man's Land.
I mean, they walk really for a long time. And
you see the border post that says, when they're on their way back, that says Canada.
Yeah, it says Canada.
Okay, so maybe they just walk because they have to be at the border, and they walk through No Man's Land. But I think they end up in Gilead because the Gilead people should walk their parameters there in Gilead and not in No Man's Land. I don't think they have the possibility to walk around there. I don't know, but
my guess is when they walk into that fence that maybe that's into Gilead.
Yeah,
there's like a hole in the fence,
could be.
Sneaking through. I don't know though. Anyway, Luke's going for the first time for Hannah, and June is moved, and she says she's going with him. You're not going alone, so I'm going. And you can see that June appreciates that he's stepping up and taking an enormous risk for Hannah. Moira and Lily walk them to the clearing where they'll start walking to Gilead. Rita's watching Holly. Apparently, it's going to take walking until morning to get there. So Lily hands them a map with the best trails to avoid patrols. But man, would that be impossible at night. I would not have a chance. I have a terrible sense of direction. Unless you're like following a creek or something. But I don't know. They weren't even following those tall, like,
The
power.
energy power things. Yeah.
When you think about the power lines, they're really big. And the power lines, do they bring electricity from Canada to Gilead? Or the other way around? So are they trading?
I'm pretty sure Canada is trading with Gilead.
Yeah.
I mean, they
Just a bit
did.
weird.
They did. We knew that they did, but they don't do that as much anymore. Lawrence wants them to be more open and to
Right.
have all these possibilities, but Putnam was shutting that down. I have a note on the thing that Luke is suddenly allowed to be there. I think it was just because the camp is now not a camp anymore. They have to abandon this camp, so now it's not.
Yeah,
But
right.
they didn't know that yet. They didn't know till after they talked to June.
Right.
Yeah, but now they know. Maybe they would have turned him away when they approached, when it was still the camp. They approach, and I think Lily says that he can come too.
Actually, I was a bit surprised that it wasn't Moira that went with Jude, that it was Luke. I was kind of hoping it would be Moira.
Yeah, me
who would
too.
go.
I think they want to show, well, they want to make him more active in finding his daughter, which I appreciate. And they want to show that what Serena said really affected him.
Yeah. Serena sure lit up a fire under Luke's ass, right?
Yeah.
But it's frustrating to see that the kindling for that fire is not what June had been subjected to and had suffered through in Gilead, but what enrages him and spurs him on is someone pointing out his own shortcomings. So it makes me wonder, I mean, Luke tells June he understands, but he doesn't act. So does he really understand? He's afraid of losing June again, sure, but because then, he will need to actually face all that guilt that he's been carrying around on his shoulders.
Mm-hmm.
So, he's avoiding confrontation at all costs. And that's also why he won't outright ask about Nick, because maybe then he's going to hear something he doesn't want to hear.
Yeah. I mean, it's bothered me since season 1 when he wasn't enraged when her money was taken away and her job. And in the book, Margaret Atwood says that it seems like he almost liked it.
Yeah. She was his.
Yeah. He owned her. Well, and then in season 4, that's a big thing that bothered me so much, was his complete lack of rage. When Fred was going to go free, it was just, let it go, June, just let it go. It's, calm down. And like, if somebody raped my spouse for once would be enough for me to just like never forgive them and be completely enraged. But over a period of years, the rage that I would feel for that person would not be something that I can express, but I couldn't hide it and be like, yeah, let's move on. So that's been a continual thing that's bothered me with Luke, was the lack of rage.
It's not only the rape of June, it's Fred is one of the big reasons why they took their daughter away and they haven't gotten her back. And this is the big thing that bothers me so much. He should be raged because of that as well, especially because of that.
Right.
Yeah.
His daughter's being held captive. Yeah.
Yeah. And I found June's reaction interesting, because I thought at first that she would turn him down because she thinks he can't handle it. It felt like this in the first moment. And then she's like thinking about it. And I think she realized that he has to do this. So he finally gets rid of some of his guilt. So,
yeah.
And then she was like, yeah, okay, I'm coming too. Because of course she can't leave him to go alone.
Right.
So I was thinking that about June's reaction, that she doesn't usually seem very submissive. She's very used to leading, or she got used to leading all the other handmaids in Gilead. Now it's Luke who says, I'm going in. And she's just like, well, I'm coming with you. So she sort of takes this position as a follower rather than a leader.
I think she gives him that opportunity to take the lead for once.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of like a nice thing that she's doing.
Definitely. Yeah.
And one thing I noticed later, before they go in, Lily says no names because they don't have the name of the Guardian. Names are dangerous. Many of them don't know who is actually with Mayday and who is not. So it's really tricky to go to people and tell them things because you don't know if they are good or not. And So
I think it's
yeah,
like a chain reaction. So you know a person and the other
yeah,
person knows a person. So there is trust there. So there's not, totally strangers you're talking to, but there is someone trusts.
right.
Yeah.
Then it's nighttime, and June's having flashbacks of running through the woods with Hannah, the guardian's tearing her out of her arms, and Luke notices and suggests they take a break. When she refuses, he says he could use a break to try to get her to take one. It's nice that he's paying attention to her cues, and also I really love all this footage of the woods at night. I love the woods. I bet it was cool to shoot.
I feel like the forest was very fairytale-like. You could imagine like Hansel and Gretel or the Little Red
Yeah.
Riding Hood in
yeah.
those woods.
Yes. Also, Serena being stuck in the house. I don't know what fairy tale. Hansel and Gretel. I don't know what, but it made me feel fairy tale-esque.
She's being filled with vitamins and stuff.
Yeah.
So she can prop a little happy baby. Yay.
Then they'll put her in the oven.
Yes.
I found that June shows her maniac side again, her traumatic side, and she reminded me of her in season 4 again a lot, when she was like, no, we need to go on and we need to push through. It must have been so hard to walk through those woods again after everything. She has been through so much shit in the woods already, not just the Hannah stuff, but also a lot afterwards.
I think also it's something June is used to. So she's used to going in, doing stuff. She doesn't want to take a break. She wants to push through. I think she's kind of get a kick out of it a little bit. A scare and a kick. It's like it goes hand in hand.
I agree with that. Back at the cabin, Moira and Lily are watching them walk towards no man's land, or through no man's land. And Lily asks Moira the deal with those two. Moira replies, they don't quit. Through all the shit they've been through, they just keep fighting for each other. And that line felt strange to me, knowing how many times June chose to stay in Gilead for Hannah, and that it was never presented as, getting back to Luke. And Moira didn't see all that, of course, but she does know that she basically had to trick June onto the boat.
But I had the same note that June and Luke are actually going for Hannah.
Right.
Yeah, fighting for Hannah.
Their goal, right?
Yeah, their mutual goal.
Maybe, and the second goal will be that they're united as a family. So, and I also wanted you to ask you guys, what do you think they're expecting to gain? I mean, what information actually are they expecting to get? Like the name of the school and the address, or?
Yeah, I don't think they really know what they're about to get, which informations. They just know they get more informations. I hope that it was the name of the school and where she is exactly and stuff like that, but
yeah.
But when the Guardian hands them the flash drive, he says here, information on wife's school, general, not Hannah's,
right.
or whatever.
I guess they didn't know. They wouldn't have known like what info they were getting though. Lily just said a Guardian has info on wife schools.
I think they're just trying to get scraps. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah, jinx.
I love though that Moira and Lily bonded there with alcohol. Of course, that scene was really nice.
Yes, Lily and Moira have like awesome chemistry. They're hanging out, drinking, and Moira asks Lily where the women are headed next, throws out some options for cities. And when she gets to Detroit, Lily's like, God, no, I wouldn't go there before Gilead. And Moira's like, why not? And reveals she's from Detroit. And they both laugh hysterically. Also, big reveal for us Nick fans, because Nick and Moira are now from the same place. So they have something else in common they can talk about should they ever meet. We hope they do. But yeah, I just really loved the chemistry between Lily and Moira, and I hope we see a lot more of them together in the future.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see a little bit more of Moira's story as well.
Yeah.
Like her the private part of her life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Luke and June are still traipsing through the woods at night when they come upon a hanged guardian with the sign rapist on him. Luke asks if that's Gilead, and she responds, Gilead doesn't use words. So that was the woman then, I guess. Cool.
It was so creepy. I liked it because I love walking that stuff. And this was really looking like a shot from there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love the shot of the shoes hanging and Luke's just like there, look with the flashlight, and it's like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's done really well.
I love that Luke is basically directly confronted with the reality of Gilead. Basically, I mean, it's just the rebels that did that, but this is the shit that Gilead does too. The corpses are hanging everywhere in town, so it's not far from being Gilead. And Luke is really directly confronted with the reality of this war because he hasn't been there since, I guess, now 7 years. It's a long time ago, and he hadn't been back there at all. So he's removed from the situation, and now he's back, and it hits him pretty hard, I guess.
Back at the house from hell, Serena is again walking down the stairs, Mrs. Wheeler impatiently waiting for her at the bottom in a very Serena-esque way, because apparently a bunch of infertile women have been invited over to ooh and ah over Serena's pregnancy. It's just like getting Gileader and Gileader with every scene. I love it. When Serena's baby kicks, all the women crowd around her to feel the kicks, just like when Serena throws the luncheon for June with her handmaids after she almost dies. Although the hands on June's belly were her friends, and these are all strangers that probably want to steal Serena's baby. But I also like the shout out to how strangers think it's okay to like touch you and molest you if you're pregnant. People like to put their hands on your belly.
Yeah, I love the shot of it against the window. I feel like in this whole episode, every shot against the light or against the window is extraordinary, and this one as well. And
I know, it's beautiful.
And the amount of pastel around Serena is also a thing of beauty.
I laughed about the fact that she had to go down the stairs again, and I was like, is this a way to keep her exercising? Because she's going up and down and up and down, and it's like she can't do much in the house, right? Because she can only walk around the house and then go up to the stairs again. So it makes sense.
It's like June.
Yes, exactly. And then when she sits there and everybody frowns at her, I had to note that she's basically the prized pig now for the Wheelers. And she feels so happy at first.
Yeah, I don't think it's bothering her at first. Yeah.
Yeah, and then her face suddenly shifts a bit. I love this moment. And then she gets to the flashback. So I think she realizes in that moment that something is just not as right as she felt it. Yeah.
Right. Yeah, because she shifts to thinking about stolen children. So, but no, I think that the cinematography and the direction of all of this whole episode, I really love. So yeah, so Serena's taken by memory of Naomi, and she walking down a sterile Gilead hallway, and no amount of white Gilead sterility can take away the feel of the immigrant children in cages along the border in America, torn from their parents. I think this scene is probably hard for everybody to film. Basically, the two women are walking down a corridor in a makeshift mall for stolen children, but I guess the children are too tainted for them. Naomi asks, can you imagine them living in your home? And Serena agrees no. And that leads to their first discussion about the horror of handmaids, but they both think they can just keep trying with their husbands and succeed instead. And it ends in the cool shot of them back to back, looking at the children for sale while the children look out a window with their hands on the glass, just looking lonely and unloved.
That shot really got to me. I was like, man, that's harsh.
It's a little bit like a zoo. It's
totally.
Yeah.
It's like window shopping, but not window shopping.
Oh god, yes.
I love the shot with Serena and Naomi back to back.
Yeah.
And what she says, we don't know where they came from or who they came from.
Both, yes.
Aww. So Naomi, well, we see a shift, right? In Naomi now with Charlotte.
Definitely. I saw the shift of Naomi gradually starting from season 2. I think since the moment she got the baby, she started to think, because the baby's a girl and all the things that she has to practically go through probably in her life, and that started turning her, I guess. And now she's at a point where she's really regretful for things, I guess, but not but she still wants the baby, so it's like really difficult for her. So, and she can't get out of her skin.
I feel like Naomi you can tell sometimes that she doesn't agree with Gilead ways. I remember when Nick got married off, and when you saw how young they were, she made this disgusted face.
Yes, she was horrified.
So I think she's always even been a bit more, I guess, if you can say, compassionate as a wife in Gilead, but
more than Serena.
Yes.
But she just signed off on a 15-year-old handmaid, though. So
she felt like she didn't really have a choice. because if Mr. Putnam wants her, I guess she doesn't really. Yeah.
Yeah, it's unclear if she actually had any power there.
Yeah, and I guess her bitchy face and her snappy talking and everything like that is just her building a wall around herself like no see, no hear. I can't do anything, so I'm just shutting it off and enjoy my life. And yeah.
Right.
And I really, really love that they put in this scene, because there was a lot of questioning about why high commanders like Putnam and Waterford and all of those didn't have any stolen kids like some others, like Mackenzie. And now we got the answer to that, because the women didn't want that. They had the choice.
Yeah, I'm glad they explained it too, because I wondered also. Yeah,
I have one note about the scene with the stolen kids. It was about global adoption business in general, where babies are, of course, the most popular ones. And I would say that there are a lot of people, even in this world right now, who would be reluctant to take on older children.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. There are way too many older kids out in the adoption system in every country, because people just want babies.
Then Luke and June find the spot they think they were aiming for, which is confirmed when they hear a gun cocked. A boy has a gun trained on them and says raspberry twice. And like the Guardian in the last episode, Luke doesn't know what he's talking about, but June remembers raspberry beret. This time the code word is a Prince and the Revolution song, which is now stuck in my head. The boy tells him it's not safe to do this in the daylight. There's a spot nearby, and they protest emphatically, but he tells them they can follow if they want. He's got to go. He has to go now. June rolls her eyes and shakes her head, but they follow. And I do understand their trepidation, but also this kid is risking his life to help you. So maybe trust him when he says that you're not safe there.
Yeah, and I like the young Guardian from the first moment, because he was so nervous, but he seems really, really a good guy from the first moment. I mean, you never know, but it's just a young boy. I mean, making me sad that he's already a Guardian.
Yeah, it is sad, but I absolutely love this character so much. But first, Serena's on a phone call to Gilead. We learn Mr. Wheeler has a direct line to Gilead. No need to go through the American government. Serena offers to let Mrs. Wheeler sit in on the call, but she is appalled. No. I don't have a head for all that. Wives shouldn't burden themselves with business. And then she saunters out of the room in a very Mrs. Wheeler way. Serena picks up the phone, greets Joseph, and then discovers Warren is there too. Lawrence makes it clear nobody expected him on the call. And Lawrence asks how she's doing after the mess at the center, and says she sounds peachy. And Serena's response is lovely. Yes, Joseph, I'm peachy. I really enjoy their interactions, actually. There's a shot of Mrs. Wheeler eavesdropping by the fire before Putnam, being his extra self this season, says, "We sent you there to shed us in a good light. Do you think you did that?" Stephen Kumpkin absolutely crushes Putnam this season in a horrible way, but he seems so nice in real life, therefore he is an amazing actor. Serena defends herself. It wasn't her fault. It was June and her husband's. Perhaps someone should deal with them. And Putnam agrees, yes, someone should. And then Serena suggests focusing on Gilead was a mistake from the get-go regarding the center. Throwing Lawrence a softball in his sweet spot. You think the Gilead Information Center focusing on Gilead is a mistake? I love him so much. She clarifies her new idea, which is indeed a good one, fertility. Props to Serena for always seeing where she has advantages and opportunities and quickly pivoting to use them. She learned from the women Mrs. Wheeler had over, and the center should focus on fertility. Children are what most people care about. Lawrence is intrigued, and Putnam quickly tells her, "We'll take your proposal under consideration," and hangs up on her. After which, Lawrence admires Putnam's way with the ladies, and Putnam mansplains, "You can't let her just run amok. You have to yank her leash from time to time," to which Lawrence deadpans, "We all know how you like to yank things." Then Putnam switches to Lawrence's new plan. Well, what's this? He says it's called New Bethlehem, a little nervously, I think, maybe. And immediately Putnam tells him he doesn't like it. It will be the death of us all, of Gilead. A bunch of traitors, criminals, terrorists, and you want to welcome them back? Forgive them? Never. Lawrence stands up and asks, "Well, what do you want to do?" And Putnam's like, "I don't give a shit what other countries think of us." And Lawrence tells him the country will die if you keep the borders closed, and all of this will be for nothing. And I vote for that option. By the way, I think Eleanor would too, Joseph. Like the douchebag that he is, Putnam commends his speech sarcastically, asks if he really thinks another speech from him is going to sway the commanders, and shrugs, "I doubt it. You're welcome to try," and departs laughing at his superiority. What did you guys think of that scene? Those scenes?
It was a great scene.
Oh, yeah.
Agreed.
the way that Putnam says, yes, someone should do something about it when he looks at Lawrence. I really like that because obviously Lawrence has been probably backpedaling and trying to avoid doing anything towards June. And obviously he's higher ranked than Putnam. So.
Oh, is he? I don't know.
Well, he's a high commander, so
That's true. I guess Putnam wasn't there.
Putnam isn't a high commander.
No, I think you're right. He wasn't at that meeting, but don't you think this conversation, like Putnam's treating him inferiorly?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. But I think he thinks he's such a big shot, and that he will be a high commander in no time now.
Right, and then he'll be able to sway the vote.
And Fred's gone.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys think he took over Fred's position, or what's the promotion? What's Ward's promotion?
I'm really struggling with that because I think Fred was gone for a long while, and they noticed that he's a traitor, and I don't think they ever wanted him back in the council for a while now before he was dead. So probably that's they got the council in a new shape before that even.
Well, I was thinking that with Fred gone, Putnam took over intermittently, and now took the position and got the promotion because there is no Fred coming back. So that's what I was thinking. But
I always wondered if it will be Calhoun, because in season 4 and 3 it was presented that Putnam and Calhoun basically took over, and then Lawrence came back slowly, and then he threatened them all, and then he got higher, I guess. So
he's got all that dirt on them now from Aunt Lydia, doesn't he?
Oh yeah, now he's in charge, I guess. But Putnam really seems to think that he will outrank them all soon. It's really difficult to figure out all the hierarchy in Gilead. So
even in season 4, Lawrence was in prison to start the season. Yeah. So even high rank commanders are pretty close to death at all times. I would say that.
Yeah.
Also, when they were in the High Commander Council, the other commanders were wearing like kind of robes and something official, and Lawrence wasn't. So was he there as the guest, or is this just Lawrence thing not to comply? So he said, no robe for me.
Yeah. I just wanted to go back for a second to the yes, someone should, because I got the feeling that maybe, I don't know, but maybe they are planning to get rid of June somehow. Maybe they are planning something, because he was saying it like that. Such a different voice. It kept me thinking if they are trying to get rid of her because she's still basically interfering with their stuff, even though she's out now, and they are not having it. Sorry. Have we talked about New Bethlehem before?
Yes. What is New Bethlehem? The only thing that we learn in this scene is Putnam thinks it's a bunch of traitors, criminals, terrorists, and you want to welcome them back and forgive them. So what does that mean?
Yeah, I mean, it sounds like they are trying to create something where people that are out now can be, but why would they come back if they are out? I would never not
imagine any motivation that would get me back in there.
No.
I don't know.
I think maybe just simply control. So if you have the people that escaped and tell the truth, and when you get them back, they don't have the opportunity to inform the world about the cruelty of Gilead. So maybe...
I think Claudia was saying, why would those people come back? Why would the people that got out come back?
Yeah, Lawrence would need to make it a really sweet deal.
Oh yeah,
to want to come back. I don't know. That's the question.
And I wondered if it would also be for people that don't really fit in the Gilead way. So people that keep on doing stuff like Emily did. I mean, I would not think it would be for handmaids that did stuff, but I don't know. Because he said like, what did he say? Prisoners?
Gilead prisoners. So
yeah.
People guilty in Gilead, but not in Canada. So bogus guilty.
Yeah, what I mean,
bogus. Yeah, like the 22 women that were exchanged for Fred, right?
I love Lawrence for trying to get a better place for people and not kill them, but it sounds really weird.
Well, like he said, though, the alternative is this place dies. Well, let it die.
I know.
I mean, I don't know if that's true, but if that is true, then let the goddamn place burn, right?
Yeah.
But for now, it sounds more like the Gilead PR stunt than anything else.
And it is, right. Yeah.
Lawrence just wants his original vision to happen, and he wants to do anything to get it done because it really fucked him over the first time.
Yeah, but it's like he's thinking of Eleanor too, right? I mean, he wants to do right by her, but I don't think that this would be her vision too. Gilead should just burn to the ground. That would be the only thing that's really good.
Right, trying all over again? What the fuck? We thought you learned something. That's insane. We'll find out more, I suppose. Okay, back in No Man's Land or Gilead or wherever we are, Luke's crawling under a fence with June and the boy pulls it closed afterwards. So maybe that was the border. And Luke and June are still looking real sus as they follow him into a building. We have no clue what it is until he flips the lights and holy shit, it's a bowling alley. June agrees. What the fuck? Seriously though, what could be more unexpected in a place like that? Just like a random place of fun with Christmas lights and such scattered about. It's adorable. The young guardian explains when it's cold out, he spends most of his shift there, beats freezing in the woods. And Luke gives him the supplies Lily sent with him, and he gives them bags in return and gets right to the point. So you want to hear about the plums. And we learn the plums are wives in training sent to special guarded schools. Like prisoners, Luke asks, and he's like, no, like princesses. The episode is called Fairytale after all. Luke asks what the training is, and Jaden tries to be PC about it, to run their households. And June translates to act like wives. And the guardian tells them that they don't stay there long, they get matched up quickly, which is terrifying. And incidentally, the opposite of what Nick said about them not having any plans to get married. But if she's there, if she's still a plum, then she hasn't been married yet. And he doesn't know where the schools are, but everything they do know is on there. So he hands him a thumb drive and tells him they had a lot of trouble getting it. June thanks him and they start to leave, and he tells them it's idiotic to travel by day. They should stay till sunset, and then he'll get them back to the border. They look at each other and agree, and then he asks, you want a bowl? June's what the fuck look here is awesome and hilarious. And so June. Anybody have notes on that little section?
Yeah, about the fact that Nick said they have no plans to marry her off yet.
Mm-hmm.
I really hoped that he has additional information just because he was hanging out with the Mackenzies, basically.
Right.
That he knows that they have currently no plans to marry her off yet.
Yeah, that's a good point.
She's in wife school because she's there yet with her period and stuff like that. But they hopefully have no plans yet, because I think we have met Mrs. Mackenzie before, and I felt like she was one of the kinder ones. And I would hope that she would not do that too quickly. And I hope that the parents, as at least the higher people, still get to call the shot who they get to marry their daughters. So I hope he meant that, and that they really don't.
He knows personally. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like that. The next scene is the two guys bowling. Luke and Jaden are getting on really well, having a blast, such that Luke even embraces him from the back. So they've gotten very friendly, very fast. And June just looks pissed off. She asks a pretty good question. No one ever hears you? And he hilariously responds, well, nobody's ever said anything. Correction, maybe she's more worried than pissed off, but definitely a combo, I would say. And then Jaden tells her he's glad that they're here. He usually has to pick up the pins himself. And she laughs. And Luke's having the time of his life and says, I just love bowling. And Jaden agrees and reminisces that he thinks his dad took him bowling. June looks at Luke and then shakes her head, looks at Jaden and dares ask, you don't remember? And he says everything before is just foggy, like a dream. And Luke clarifies, so Gilead, that's all you know. And Jaden laughs, yeah, it's not so bad. And June points out the obvious miracle here. He says it's not so bad, and yet he's still working to bring it down. And he says people should be allowed to talk to each other, see their families, do whatever they want, like this. And all they can do is agree, sadly. But the fact of the matter is, Hannah is a lot younger than this kid, and if he doesn't remember life before Gilead, chances are Hannah doesn't either. She'll remember June, but probably be more traumatized by those visits than anything. And will she remember Luke at all?
Unfortunately, probably not.
Yeah, it's super sad. She was 4, and I think you mostly start remembering things towards 5 or 6, maybe some from 4, right? But if this kid doesn't remember,
well, Hannah remembered June in season 2.
Yeah.
So she does remember something, but then she didn't remember her in the cage. So
I feel like she was just scared. She must remember her since she saw her less than a year ago.
Yeah,
maybe like a year ago. But
just
I don't
what
know.
June said that she didn't remember. But yeah,
right. June
I
said
took
that,
it as Hannah being just totally scared of her because maybe they told her that she's I mean, she is responsible for the death of the mother. And I mean,
Right.
June looked terrifying at that moment. So
Yeah, she'd been tortured and
yeah.
Yeah, but the thing of the matter is that they know Hannah doesn't know real life, quote unquote.
Yeah.
She knows Gilead. She doesn't know about bowling. She doesn't know about people hanging out like the Guardian, drinking beer, doing whatever. She doesn't know that. So this is a crushing realization.
Yeah.
Either way.
For them, yeah.
Yeah.
And back to the fact that June didn't look exactly happy while watching them.
Yeah.
I mean, they are forced to stay there, and those two act like everything is happy and fine and everything. And June is like, I just want to go home and look at that drive and look at all the stuff about Hannah. Yeah. So I guess that's like, she's like stuck and she doesn't wanna, because that's the thing that she hates the most, being stuck in one place and with no thing to actively do.
Yeah.
But I love the whole shot of it. The
bowling
alley, the lights, especially the shot from behind when June is talking to the Guardian. There's like a beautiful shot from behind and you can see the bowling alley. So that was really good.
Yeah.
I love the setting.
Yeah.
Jaden gets back up to bowl and Luke asks June, can you believe this kid? She tells him she's never seen anyone in Gilead pure like him as Jaden celebrates getting a strike. And then Jaden remembers he has beer, and this gets Luke's attention. Now we need music. There's a keyboard there, which he warms up by playing some All-American Kid tunes. Yankee Doodle first, and then Oh Susanna. And then he kicks it up a notch and starts singing, I'm so in love with you, points at June. Whatever you want to do is all right with me. And also, I don't have much choice. And she laughs. It's Let's Stay Together by Al Green. And OT is a fantastic singer. At first, it seems like June looks sad. So he gets up and he grabs her hand to dance. And Jaden asks a pressing question. Did you write that song? And they're so shocked they don't answer at first. And then Luke rolls with it and decides to take credit for it, which I agree with that choice, Luke.
That was really funny.
Yeah, it was.
I wish I could do that. Like, have you guys seen that movie? I haven't seen it, but that movie about the Beatles, and no one knows the Beatles, and that one guy like becomes famous by singing all their songs.
Oh, I heard about that.
Yeah, that would be amazing, right? Take credit for all their songs.
The disco ball turns on and they dance and look happy, and it's like a fairy tale.
Jaden is flashing his flashlight at the disco ball.
Yeah.
It was so cute. I love June's words about Jaden, that he's so pure, because he truly is. I think we haven't seen anybody like, I mean, we have seen people like the butcher and people helping, right? But I mean, they all have been through so much shit, and Jaden just looks like he hasn't been through so much, but still he wants to help the people just because he doesn't feel it's right like this. And it's like the best ever.
I love him so much. Oh, and he's played by Owen Painter, and this is his first TV show, and he just hit it out of the park. I love him so much. Do I say that too much, Kimberly?
Yes. I had something to say about the singing.
Are you jealous because you wanted to sing?
Yeah, that firstly. Secondly, when Luke started singing, I noticed that June's face was a bit off. She wasn't really sure with the words that he was singing. I felt that. I don't know if anyone else did, but to me, she was looking at him like sort of sad, sort of like thinking in her head about something.
Yes, that's my take too.
And obviously then after that, she fell into it a bit and started having fun a little. But at first, I could definitely see she was.
Yeah, I wrote the words down because I noted it too. It was I want to spend my life with you, and her gaze falls down to the floor because she can't. I mean, I don't know if it was planned like this, but it looks like she can't look him into his eyes when he says that, because she's still unsure about how it's going to be, about how she's going to live her life, because she just doesn't know, and she can't say to him that this will be it. And then she tries to not let her head get into this, and that's why I think she then decides to just let it take her and
get up and dance.
Yeah, just follow his lead and turn off her head and not get sad in that moment. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, life is too hard already.
Yeah.
I kind of like that they used this song because it showed that she wasn't really happy about him singing about their life together, because she certainly is not she hasn't planned it out. She doesn't know if she's going to be with him her whole life, and I like that.
I don't think she thinks much about it at the moment.
Yeah.
About future with Luke or whoever.
Exactly, because she just wants to have a baby back.
I didn't mind that she seemed to like fall into it for a little while, just like to feel something different for a change. I don't think she loves him like that, but I think she loves him definitely. But I don't know if she doesn't know if she loves him like before.
And June needs happy moments.
Exactly. While she was dancing with him, I think she found this sort of maybe a few seconds of peace that in a world that used to exist but no longer exists, and in the body of a woman who no longer exists either.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a good point.
And created by a Gilead kid who doesn't know the before.
Yeah.
And who also said his name when we heard a couple of minutes before.
Yeah, right.
No names are dangerous. It was like, okay, you say your name, you're gonna die, right? That was the note that I made.
Oh,
when I heard him introduce himself, like, no, Jaden, please. Why did you do it? Now you have to die.
Oh, Jaden.
We didn't see him die though, so I'm hoping.
That's true. Then Serena's trying to go for a walk. She has a fan outside the gates she'd like to commune with, but Ezra tells her Mr. Wheeler has given strict instructions they're not to open the gate. And Serena's starting to understand how trapped she is. There's a high fence surrounding the property. She's remembering Aunt Lydia and picking out her first handmaid. How on earth Lydia thought telling her that girl caught the eye of Commander Waterford was a good idea is baffling. Unless she didn't want her to pick that one, maybe.
That was so good. She was just like, her look on the paper was like, I'll close this slowly and put that to the side.
It's so good.
Yeah.
But talking about Aunt Lydia, the way she sells the girls, it's like, if Serena were picking up, a car, like, is it sedan or is it an SUV?
Yeah.
It's so disgusting. Yeah. Excellent choice.
Yeah.
She's like, those are the Ferraris under the handmaids. Choose one, because I handpicked them myself for you specially. Oh my God. What the fuck?
But she chooses offered one, presumably, which, let's recall, is another reason to hate Serena. She didn't care at all when that woman committed suicide. It's easy to forget how many unforgivable sins Serena has committed.
She cared more about Fred, like, cheating on her than
liking her. Yeah.
Yeah. But I just like that in this moment, she figured out she was basically trapped.
Yes.
I have the same note. She realized she's trapped. Yeah. Was a good moment.
It was glorious.
Yeah. Oh my God. I'm partying hard in this scene. Oh my God, she deserves it so much.
I really love how it's revealed throughout the episode, kind of slowly, you're watching until this moment when she gets it. Now we get to meet the elusive Mr. Wheeler. Serena's praying when he knocks on the door. She has a window seat like June's, but much nicer. Sorry, that was a side note. I liked it. I want one. Mr. Wheeler has a soft voice similar to Ezra's, similar to the soft creepiness of this whole house. And we get the impression from this conversation that Mr. Wheeler is in some sort of high up position related to Gilead. The commanders and I have spoken on your proposal. He's kinder in giving her credit for her plan than Putnam was, and tells her a fertility center is a real stroke of genius, but quickly dismisses her desires to be involved in the plans for said stroke of genius. Most pregnancies end in bed rest, Can't have you running around the city. Your baby's needs come ahead of any plans or ambitions. Oh, speaking of, he's got some pills he'd like to watch her swallow before he leaves.
What were they?
I assume prenatal vitamins. He said your levels need to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. But this guy is just so good at looking like such a all-American good guy whilst being creepy as fuck.
Yeah. He looks like at a stomach a lot.
Oh, it's creepy. And it's pretty ballsy of Serena to ask for a cell phone when that seems like a foregone conclusion already. And he says a problem. Security concerns, you understand.
She's like, I want to call help.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I think together, Eva and Lizzie and Bruce hired these Mr. Wheeler, and I think it's really, and Jaden, which obviously was an
amazing. Yeah. I really started to think a lot about Mr. Wheeler because of the fact that he's just seemingly so much in contact with Gilead, and I always wondered in the first moment we saw that there are the Wheelers and they have contact with Gilead and stuff. I was wondering why they don't already live in Gilead if they are so good on terms with them. And now I realized, is he like a snitch in Canada for Gilead? And I'm like, basically they should be in prison for treason because they surely bring stuff about Canada to Gilead, much like Tuella wanted to bring stuff from Gilead back to Canada. But it's like
But
crazy.
we know what Mr. Wheeler does for a living.
No, I hope we find out.
I mean, what kind of information can he give to Gilead? If he is not a politician, then...
I know, but did you see his house and the surroundings? And he has all these guardians and everything. He must do something important. And that's why Gilead is interested to have the contact with him. Otherwise, I don't think that Gilead would just be in cahoots with any random fan of Gilead. It's like,
I think it maybe has to do more with what Wheeler is doing for Gilead.
Yeah, I would love to know that.
Not information, but like maybe he's doing something for them.
Yeah. And I love that he isn't coming to Serena because Serena wanted to see him, but only because he spoke to the Gilead commanders about the call that she had done. It was not about her. It was just to give her the information that she basically gets the fertility thing, but she doesn't get to have anything to do with it now.
Right.
I wonder if he didn't have those vitamins to give her, he would have gone up there in the first place.
Yeah, it might have just been to deliver the vitamins. Then there's a cool shot of Jaden through Luke and June's linked hands, and they're walking through the woods until Jaden steps on something and yells at them to stop. Luke gets it. Is that and Jaden's calmly like, a mine? Yep. The rebels have a few scattered through here. And then I remembered he just said this way is faster back to the borders. So that was a bad decision, friend. I fucking love this kid so much though. And when I realized it was going to be him in that picture that we posted 1,000 times of the explosion, which was a really cool picture from the trailer, I yelled fuck really loudly. And I think it was really, really awful to kill this poor kid. Although I don't kill him, I guess. Anyway, the mine explodes and he goes flying through the air. And it goes silent afterwards, which I kind of like how they do that on this show, which is, I'm sure, what the victim is likely experiencing. June runs to him. She's trying to stop the bleeding, and Jaden's telling him they need to run. He's wailing in pain, but still mostly focused on getting them to run to safety, and I could not love this boy more. But yeah, his leg, I guess the bottom half of his leg has been blown off.
Yes, foot is definitely gone. I'm not sure where, because it's so dark, where it's cut off. But it looks like, I don't think he will die from this, especially since his guardian friends come running.
And they seemed like they're really his friends. I loved that.
Yeah.
They're all yelling like Jaden, all worried, and I liked that. You know, they care about him. So I'm hopeful that maybe he would be okay. But then Luke and June start getting chased by other people pretty close to where this happened. So it seems like Jaden would likely get in trouble for whatever has been going on here. I don't know. We'll see.
He could say that he hunted them. He saw them and he ran after them, and then he stepped on it. And I hope his friends back him up or something like that.
I like that scene between Luke, June, and Jaden after he got blown up. I mean, I don't like that he got blown up, but it was sweet. Like he really wanted them to leave. He wanted them to get away from there. And then Luke and June didn't really want to leave him, but
he was so desperate. He was like, run, please.
And there was something like about June that was different, the way she was talking to him when she was trying to stop the bleeding. Maybe maternal or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. Something that I haven't seen her really treat other people that way. And I thought it was really sweet because she cares about this boy.
I think the fact that he's so pure and she's just really, he reminds her of her kid.
Yeah. And she wants him to be okay. And she's not. And she did that scene really well. Yeah, and then Luke and June are running through the woods and they start being chased, and Let's Stay Together plays as they're being torn apart. And the episode is?
Oh yeah, they're being torn apart again. I mean,
there's that aerial shot again too.
And I got really worried for June because she's captured again, close to Gilead. I'm like, oh God. I mean, it's no man's land, right? So but still, she's captured again.
Okay, I think that's a wrap on our analysis of season 5, episode 5. Come back next week while we talk about season 5, episode 6, and interview Eva Vives, the director for 5 and 6. Thanks for listening.
Bye. Bye.
Okay.
It has the juice. It has the juice.
What is that? All right.
Have you not heard that? What the fuck? It's all over Instagram. Like everyone has videos that go, it's corn. It's a big hole. What does it say? It's a big lump with knobs. It has the juice. It has the juice.
What? What the fuck are you talking about?
I'm gonna have to send this later after we record.
Please do.
Anyway, someone's calling with news for them on wife schools. So she and Laura. I wish Laura was a thing. Okay. Anyway, someone's calling for news. Shit. Okay, I think that it's so hard.
Can we get that
blooper for you?
As a blooper?
All right. Stop it. For real, bye.
Nothing changes instantaneously. In a gradually heating bathtub, you'd be boiled to death before you knew it. Our Father, who art in heaven. Seriously? What the actual fuck?
Gilead doesn't care about children. Gilead cares about power.
Why does healing have to be the only goal? Why can't we be as furious as we feel?
For whatever man sows, so shall he reap.